Hello, I'm Jeff Cavins, and today we're looking at the readings for the fifth Sunday in Ordinary Time. The Gospel reading this week continues on with the Sermon on the Mount. It's the new law given to the disciples by Jesus, just as Moses gave the law on Mount Sinai. We've been talking for a number of weeks now about God bringing light to the world and restoring the world, and we have come to understand that He's going to use His church to do this. And again, we see in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 5, and we see it in verses 13 through 16, what He thinks about our role in this whole process. He says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trodden underfoot by men." And then He goes on and He says, "You're the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do men light a lamp and put it under a bushel, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. Let your light shine so before men, that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." It seems that in the Gospel this week, Jesus is really emphasizing the fact that we cannot hide what has been given to us. We have seen the light. We have had our eyes opened. We have been restored, and we cannot hide it. We have to live our lives in such a way that the world can see what God has done in our life. You know, every year I go to Israel and I lead pilgrimages, and every year we go out on a boat on the Sea of Galilee. And as we are sitting on the Sea of Galilee, we look northward and we see a city that is set on a hill, and it's called Tzefat. It's the modern day for Jewish mysticism, Tzefat. You can see it from everywhere. Some theologians believe that that is the city that Jesus was pointing to, that no matter where you're at, you're going to see that city. You cannot hide that city. But you know, we've got a choice. We can live our life in such a way that people see our lives and they see what we're made of, or we can conceal this light. We can hide it under a bushel basket. But that's not what Jesus has called us to do. In fact, he really places an emphasis on good works. Now, I want to talk about just for a moment something that's really, really important. It's one thing for us to believe the right things, and that's good. But it is only when we put what we believe into practice that the world begins to see what we believe. We call this orthodoxy, it's right believing, and orthopraxy, it's right living. And the two really go together. Faith without works is dead, James tells us. And so I want to encourage you this week to set your heart to go beyond believing the things of the Lord and begin to do them, because that's the way that the world is going to understand. Paul builds on this in this week's readings in 1 Corinthians chapter 2. He says it so well. He says, "I came to you in weakness and fear, and my message and proclamation were not with persuasive words of wisdom," but listen to this, "but with a demonstration of power, a demonstration of the Spirit, so that your faith might rest not on human wisdom, but on the power of God." You see, the testimony that you and I are to proclaim to the world as His Talmidim, as His disciples, is one that is a demonstration of the Spirit and the power of God. And that goes beyond just believing the right things. It goes into the arena of living in front of the world. Now, the first reading this week is Isaiah 58. And in that, Isaiah even emphasizes the same point, and he says that the care for the needy, not the belief that we should take care of the needy, but the care of the needy is the key to letting your light shine. Once again, it's doing what Jesus has called us to do. This week, take inventory in your own life. Ask yourself what you are doing in terms of the works of the kingdom that would lead other people at work, at home, in your neighborhood, maybe your immediate family, lead them to believe that you truly are a follower of Christ, walking in the power of the Spirit, a demonstration of the Spirit and the power of God. This is what makes following Jesus so exciting. Yes, learning, but doing.